Hey everybody, it's Angie from Married to the Road blog and Facebook page. I'm making a couple of videos today because this is our last day off before we get back on the road. And I realize that we haven't really been keeping up with our podcast and our blog because life just gets in the way and it gets busy. So anyway, I decided that I'd make a couple of videos regarding the coronavirus and how it's affecting our trucking community. As most of you guys know, we're considered essential workers. So a lot of us truckers are out there doing the best we can. And then, it is a little bit harder out there right now, not being able to have some of the supplies that we need. I think the biggest problem that we have is that we're only off for a very limited amount of time, usually a day and a half to 2 days. And trying to track down the essential items that we need to be safe out there on the road has become increasingly hard. We are running very low on supplies such as Lysol wipes and Lysol spray. And luckily we're good on hand sanitizer and we're good on toilet paper. I scored getting some this weekend, so I was very excited. But the last thing you want to do is spend what little time off you have trying to get those items. And you can't buy those items online. You can't buy it from Target or Amazon or Walmart. So on our Facebook page, Married #2 The Road on Facebook or on our website, which is marriedtotheroad.com, I have recipes up there, very, very simple, for you to make Lysol disinfecting wipes at home and also Lysol disinfecting spray. So we have gone ahead and made those for ourselves because we were running so low that we wanted to make sure that we had plenty of items to keep our truck clean and keep ourselves clean as well. So make sure you visit our Facebook page or our blog if you are also running low on supplies. So today's video, I'm just kind of going to be talking about how we have had to change our routine to keep our truck as clean as possible. As a lot of you guys know, Larry has Crohn's disease, and the medication that he's currently on is Humira. This makes this as though he has no immune system. So just a common cold can make Larry very, very sick. So you can imagine how paranoid and nervous I have been about the coronavirus. So I try to be very vigilant in keeping our truck clean and our home clean and making sure, I've gotten to the point where Larry doesn't get out of the truck at all, unless it is to fuel or it is to hook up our trailers. Other than that, I go into line haul at FedEx, I go into the truck stops, and I don't allow him to go into those areas. So then I have to be extra vigilant when I'm going into those areas and then getting back into the truck to make sure that I don't infect him. And I will talk about that in another video. It's kind of funny. I told Larry that I need to wear a GoPro camera just so you guys can see how well I have come at not touching anything when I go into truck stops. It's almost like a game. It's like, okay, I can't touch this, I can't touch that, I gotta use a paper towel, I gotta use gloves, gotta wash my hands. So it's almost become like a game of how do I not get germs on myself, but still get what I need in the truck stops and get back to the truck safely. So anyway, so today I'm going to be talking, like I said, about keeping your trucks clean. So the main things that we keep on hand is obviously the Lysol wipes and then also the Lysol spray, hand sanitizer, and then foaming hand soap. The CDC has recommended that the foaming hand soap is the best. It tends to get the fat off of the coronavirus better than just regular hand soap. So up on our dashboard next to our ELD log, you'll see that we have a pretty good sized bottle of hand sanitizer and also foaming hand soap. So if we don't feel comfortable or we don't have time to go into a truck stop or rest area to wash our hands, we will use the foaming hand soap. We'll just wash our hands for the 20 seconds that is recommended. I usually sing the happy birthday song while I'm doing it. And then we'll use a bottled water outside of our door and just rinse off our hands real well and then use a paper towel to dry off. And then use hand sanitizer right afterwards. So for me, I'm a visual person. Even with my medications, if I don't see it, I'm very bad about taking my medications. So up on my dashboard, you'll see we have our vitamins up there, including our vitamin C and our emergence, so that we make sure that we're staying as healthy as we can out there. And then we have a hand sanitizer and our foaming soap. So keep those items somewhere that it's going to be a visual reminder to you to keep your hands clean, and make sure that you're using hand sanitizer at all times. So on the surfaces in your truck, I made a list, so if you see me looking down, that's the reason why. So on these particular surfaces on your truck, I use just a plain bleach wipe or I also have some lemon Lysol disinfecting spray. So I'll use one or the other. The most important thing is you want to make sure that it's disinfecting. So some areas that you may have not really thought about on the truck that you need to keep clean. And also as a reminder, I do these things at least 2 to 3 times every single day, especially when we're getting ready to change shifts, such as Larry's getting ready to go to bed and I'm getting ready to take over, or vice versa. We want to make sure that we're wiping down the germs from when we drove so that we're not giving it to the other person. So it'd be the same for you if you as a co-driver. Make sure that in between the shifts that you guys are wiping down everything. Excuse me. Okay, so the different areas to remember is the steering wheel. It's, of course, the main important thing because your hands are on there constantly. But you also want to make sure that you get the buttons on the steering wheel. I often will take Q-tips to get around those buttons because it gets so many dust and particles inside there that just by taking a Q-tip dipped in the Lysol, that'll help maybe prevent getting the virus onto our steering wheel. So wipe down your steering wheel minimum 2 or 3 times a day. All the dash buttons. We have so many dash buttons. You want to make sure you wipe them all down, including our brakes. We're setting our brakes 2 to 3 times a day minimum. You want to make sure that you're wiping down the brakes really good. Get those knobs really well, including the backs of the knobs. Our ELD logs. We're constantly logging in and out on our ELD logs, putting ourselves on break, putting ourselves in the sleeper berth. So you want to make sure that you're wiping down your ELD logs. And if you have a stylus that you use on your ELD logs, you want to wipe that down as well because your hands are touching it and so is your co-drivers. So make sure you do your stylus as well. The door handles. You want to do the inside and the outside of your door handles. You're constantly getting in and out of your truck throughout a daily basis. You know, whether it's to go into a truck stop, whether it's to go into your shipper or whatever it is. So make sure that you're doing your door handles both inside and outside. Excuse me. You also want to do the grab handlebars, or the grab bars to get inside and outside of your truck. So on the driver's side and the passenger seat, there's usually 2 grab bars that you use to lift yourself into the truck. Those are, areas that we use constantly getting in and out of our trucks, and those are areas that you need to make sure that are wiped down at least 2 to 3 times a day between you and your co-driver to make sure you guys are not commingling germs. So the other thing is our radio and our CBs. Make sure that you're wiping down the radios, including all the knobs, all the buttons, and on the CB radio, make sure you're also doing the CB handpiece, including the cord that goes from the CB handpiece all the way to the radio. That way, when your co-driver comes on, it's clean and sanitized for him, and hopefully he does the same thing for you. Can't guarantee that, but let's hope you have a good co-driver. So, also your seatbelts. So on the seatbelts, there's 3 main components that we make sure that we clean. The part that comes up here by the shoulder strap, because we're constantly having to adjust that to make sure the seatbelt's fitting us comfortably. So on that, we'll use a Lysol wipe. Also on the buckle, we'll make sure that we wipe that down, and then the main unit itself, we'll wipe that down with Lysol wipes. Now, as far as the seatbelt itself, because it's fabric, I use Lysol spray on that, and I'll spray that down at least twice a day, both front and back, to make sure that we're getting all the germs off of that, because we're constantly putting our hands on our seatbelt, and that's a really good area to get germs on. So the other thing is the buttons to adjust your seats. We're constantly having to adjust our seats, especially when we're switching between one driver to another driver. And I don't think that we often think about the buttons or the bars that are down there to adjust our seats. So make sure you're taking Lysol wipes to wipe those down as well, especially when you're going from one driver to another driver. If you have a fridge and microwave, make sure that you're wiping down all the buttons and the handles on that as well. And then in the back bunk area, you want to make sure that you're wiping down the radio and all the buttons that are back there on that radio, the vents that are back there. And then if you have the cup holder areas, like most of the back bunk areas do, you want to make sure that you're wiping those down because you and your co-driver are probably using that as well. Excuse Gizmo. They're out there, Larry's mowing the grass, and they want to be outside with him. So anyway, so those are just some of the tips that we use to keep our truck clean. Like I said, normally throughout the week, that's what we do 2 to 3 times a day. And then on the weekends, it usually would take me about a half hour to clean our truck when we get back to FedEx. Now it's taking me a little bit over an hour to make sure that it's completely bleached and hand sanitized and ready for the next week. But whatever it takes to keep it clean and so that we can keep working and and not get sick for our kids and our grandkids is worth it. So if you have any suggestions or maybe something I forgot to mention and you have a tip, make sure that you leave it down below in the comment section. And don't forget to go to Facebook and follow us. I am going to have some more videos out today talking about truck stops and some of the cool things we've seen during the coronavirus too. So make sure you come back and check our YouTube later on, and we'll have some more videos for you. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.